Kurgan Cassius, IFL TV here in Liverpool for the press conference for Collision Course on July the 12th at the Echo. With me I've got Nathan Cleverly, who faces Alejandro Valori. Did I get that right?
Yep, you got him. Alejandro.
These names. First of all, how are you, Nathan?
Yes, mate, all good.
All good?
Bit tired after that 4.5 hour train journey. I had to get up at 6 AM this morning. I'm not one for these early mornings, mate.
Really?
I'm more nocturnal.
I'm nocturnal, yeah. Don't like the early mornings, but I'm not an athlete, so I can go off and get away with it. Collision Course, this is called. I'm assuming that the idea behind it is this whole you and Bellew thing, which he was a bit reluctant to talk about in my interview with him. Yeah. But let's talk about your opponent first. A step up from obviously your first fight at cruiserweight. This is going to be.
A slight step up, you know, and that's what we need now. A gradual step up in opposition, fresh at the weight. Valori, he'll come to fight. He'll come swinging early on, first couple of rounds, swinging wild looks, I believe. Quite strong, quite ruggedly tough. But if I'm going to push on, I need to beat this guy and win in emphatic fashion.
What are you looking for later on in the year? Obviously, we know what kind of fight this is going to be for you, or what the idea is behind it. But are you looking at getting a world title shot, or do you want this rematch with Tony Bellew ahead of that? Or what?
At the moment, every fight is like a world title fight for me. Valori, you know, Sean Corbin, I trained as though this was a world title fight, and prepared for that. Valori, I'm preparing the same as if this is my world title fight, because every fight now is crucial for me. I need to win. I need to keep winning, and once I do that, you know, the big fight's going to happen. We've got me and my rival Tony Bellew, who's gonna, you know, that's going to be a big fight, provided we both do the business. And then the winner of that potentially fights for the world title. So every fight is crucial, and it starts, as I said, Corbin was one, Valori second, and then potentially we've got the grudge match. And then we can look for the world title. How
do you compare your opponent at cruiserweight to the one that Tony had for your first fights, as you are on this collision course, as it says in the title, to fight each other? But your debuts at cruiserweights, how do you compare the opponents?
Well, he kind of makes out that Brudov was some kind of animal and some kind of world beater. But I actually asked if we could have Brudov for this fight, you know, and let's see what job I can do on him. And for some reason, Brudov's unavailable or whatever. But you know, I would have fought that guy. He makes out he's some kind of machine. He makes out Brudov is some kind of animal. But it doesn't really matter, you know. He takes it personally. I don't really care. Just fight and win, you know. Our next couple of fights, whoever we fight, it's, you know, it's no major titles on the line. We know we're fresh to the cruiserweight division. Just win, and then the big fights are going to happen, including me and him. And next time, you know, if it does happen, provided, you know, we're both successful, and when it does happen, not only am I going to win, I'm going to win emphatically this time.
Are you happy to come back here?
Yeah, and I've discussed this with Eddie and Matchroom, and the reason why is because the arena, you know, it's a good capacity. You know, preferably I'd like to fight at home, you know, because every shot you land gets cheered by the crowd. That has a big impact in the fight, for a fighter's morale. So preferably I prefer home advantage, but there's, you know, we're struggling for the right size arena in Cardiff. So if it means coming back here, I have no issue with that.
This rematch, does part of you think that it's taken too long for this to have happened from your first fight? Because the initial fight between you and Tony, there was that great build up, that rivalry, that, you know, that thing between you two that was going on, which started off actually at the press conference where you at the O2, where you didn't actually fight. But has the gap gone a little bit in terms of the hype of the fight?
I think potentially we could have done it straight away, the rematch, but ultimately there was no need for me at the time because I won. so I didn't really need the fight, but he wanted the fight more because it was revenge. But now I knew it was going to happen sometime in the future anyway, you know, and now it was going to happen at cruiserweight. So I knew it was going to happen, but it just takes time, and for these big fights it takes time, and sometimes it's better that way because you're kind of building it up. Then it's more of a build up rather than just boom straight at it. So it's more of a build up. There's more fire, there's more bravado, and I think it just makes it a better rivalry.
When you look at what happened a couple of weeks ago, the potential of a domestic rivalry, what it can do, 80,000 people at Wembley.
Yeah.
It's for a fight, really, that when the first fight was announced, you wouldn't have ever envisaged what would have happened. There was going to be a rematch, there's going to be 80,000 people there at Wembley. No one would have seen this from the first fight. It just goes to show, doesn't it, with the right ingredients, the right fight, the right fighters in this country, that this sort of interest can be generated.
It can, and it was unbelievable, mate. You know, 80,000 Wembley Arena. It was fantastic for boxing. You know, it was a great night for boxing. Fantastic event. But it just shows, like you say, what a rivalry, like an old-fashioned rivalry, what they can produce. And it's that set the line now. That set the border, and let's build from that.
Just finally, what's it like, obviously, this not having to kill yourself to make light heavy? Is it taking the pressure off you slightly in your training camps for the last fight and obviously for this one?
Yeah, it's great, mate. I genuinely mean that. You know, it feels great. I was at light heavyweight for 7 years. I was still maturing, still growing. Even when I was winning, I felt there was something wrong, and it's the weight. It's the weight, and the loss was what triggered me to move up, because while you're winning you just keep going. But I knew something wasn't right, and this weight, mentally I feel good, physically I feel a lot better. I'm just excited by this whole new chapter.
Alright, listen, Nathan Cleverly, thanks for talking to iFL TV again, and
mate.
Sure, I'll catch up with you before the July the 12th and the build up. Alright?
Cheers, mate.
Thanks a lot. Coogan Cassius, Nathan Cleverly, iFL TV, thank you very much.